Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Mania and I'm the Group CEO at SaveFast. And SaveFast is the exclusive training partner of BICSc here in the Middle East, Asia and Africa. And I'm here today talking to Neil Spencer-Cook, the Managing Director at BICSc. And we hope you enjoy this chat. So Neil, can you explain to everyone what is BICSc membership?
Okay, BICSc membership, there are three types. If I start off with individuals, so me or you could have an individual membership individual to ourselves.
Yeah.
But the only route to individual membership now is through the licence to practice. So if you want to be a member of BICSc, you have to have gone through the licence to practice, have to understand what we're all about, and in particular the safety element. And anyone in the industry really should understand licence to practice.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
We then move on to corporate. So as a company, you can be a corporate member of BICSc. And as a corporate member, what you're basically saying is, I agree with the ethos of BICSc.
Yeah.
I also agree with the fact that, you know, they have a mission statement, the first line of which is to protect the cleaning operative.
Yeah.
And basically they're agreeing that, yeah, we want to be aligned with BICSc. It's a good thing for us to be aligned.
And what's the difference between a corporate and an accredited training membership?
Okay, well, the third and final membership is the accredited training membership. So an accredited training membership to me is kind of the gold star of membership for BICSc, because these people have all the same ideologies as the corporate member. So they agree with our ethos, they agree with our mission statement. But what they do is they go a step further and they say, we agree with it all, and look, we're working on training our staff.
So that is really the gold standard. Yeah.
And the accredited training membership means they can train from within the company.
Brilliant.
I'm not saying a corporate doesn't train his staff or their staff, because they can. But they would have to pay somebody to do that on an ongoing basis rather than be able to train their own staff in-house.
Makes sense. And how do I know I'm getting BICSc training?
Well, for anyone who does any BICSc training, particularly around CPSS, the skills and licence to practice, everybody gets issued a card. And if somebody's training you, that card should have assessor on the back, or accredited trainer. The accredited trainer is the training level, and then you have the assessor level, which means they can then go on to assess the skill that's been trained.
Right.
But an assessor will have been trained as a trainer as well as an assessor.
Right, makes sense. And how do I know if a cleaning operative is BICSc trained?
Again, it's down to the card.
Yeah.
Every cleaning operative, the first thing they do is licence to practice.
Right.
And on the back of the card, there is the licence to practice with the expiry date.
Yeah, okay.
In this corner here, opposite the assessor.
Yeah.
And they will have a card.
Yes.
Every time somebody does more training, they get an updated card.
Brilliant.
Every time they renew their licence to practice, they get an updated card.
Yeah.
And that is the definitive answer to knowing somebody is trained.
And all their skills, if they've got any skills, will be listed on the back of that card.
Yeah, this person's got quite a lot of our skills.
Yeah.
I think virtually all of them. There are 42.
Wow, okay.
42 skills across the basic, advanced and specialist skills.
Brilliant, yeah. And do they get a certificate as well?
For licence to practice, there are no certificates. They only get the card. There is no option. When you've done your skills, you might get certificates for your skills if that's what your employer wants, but it only lists the skills. It never says licence to practice. Right,
very clear. And how can I find out if a company is a member of BICSc?
That's very, very easy if you're internet savvy. Go onto our website, go into our membership section, and I'll say that properly, our membership section. And look for the membership directory. In there, it lists all of our corporates and all of our accredited training members. You can search by country, you can search by company name. Type it and it shrinks it down to whatever you're searching for. And you'll see either the corporate member logo or the accredited training member logo. So you know that these people are training or they're not. Which
is very useful, I think, for companies or regulators if they've specifically asked for a company to be an ATM or to have BICSc training,
Yes.
you can go on the directory and actually just check if that company, you know, is on there and what type of membership.
Like I said earlier, you know, I think the companies that maybe have put into their tenders that they want BICSc or have it mandated that anybody working in a particular building has to have BICSc.
Yeah.
I think the first thing it does is it gives you an indication of what level of membership they've got.
Yes.
But it does mean, yeah, okay, you're a corporate member, but then you will have to ask the company, you might only be a corporate member, but do you pay to have your staff trained?
Yeah.
Have you got any BICSc qualifications within your company?
Yeah.
But for the accredited training membership, it means that they know they are set up to do it, but it still requires you to ask. Because an accredited training member might only train 20 people a year, but they might have 2,000 cleaning operatives.
Exactly,
so there needs to be some discussion or some control measure from your tender to your customer.
Absolutely. And I think the license to practice is probably the best indicator that, you know, people have been trained and that our staff has trained their cleaning operatives.
I think anyone working in the cleaning industry should have a license to practice.
Yeah.
You should understand how to protect yourself, understand how to store chemicals properly, how to dilute chemicals, how to know the machinery that's being used is safe. And I don't think it matters what level you are. I think it's important that you do hold a license to practice.
Yeah.
And at BICSc's headquarters or for the BICSc staff, there is nobody that doesn't hold one.
Brilliant. Great. And how do I know if I'm paying for legitimate BICSc training?
Okay, so if you work for one of our accredited training members, they should be training you and there should be no charge. If you're being charged, that's not what the accredited training membership is about, so that's not how BICSc works. Outside of you being trained by your company without the charge, there are only two organisations that can charge you for BICSc training. One is BICSc itself.
Yeah.
And the only other one is obviously yourselves as our exclusive training partner.
Yeah.
SaveFast are the only other company that you can, if you have an invoice from, you can guarantee you're getting the genuine BICSc training.
Absolutely.
For us, you know, BICSc training is important. There is a standard that has to be set, and actually SaveFast are the only place in the world that actually has our standard. And actually, we are comfortable with training a standard.
Brilliant. That's good to know. And if I am an ATM, can I train outside my organisation?
I think I've just covered that really, but no, you can't.
Yeah.
If you are an accredited training member, you can train your own staff.
Of course,
and you are not charging for that. You should not be charging your cleaning operatives to train them. You don't charge an employee to train them.
Yeah.
You cannot go outside and you cannot charge for BICSc training. You can't even go out and do it free. And I have to say, we are being very hard on this stance now, and anybody that we find that is going out and training or selling BICSc will have their license removed, and anybody we find that's been selling BICSc, any of the qualifications they've issued will be removed.
Right, so it's quite a clearly defined line.
Yeah.
And it won't be tolerated. Yeah.
No,
okay.
It won't at all.
And I think you touched on this earlier, but just to kind of maybe go back to it, because I think what we're seeing a lot in this region now, and it's really great to see, is BICSc being mandated in a lot of tenders where projects are very specifically requesting, you know, BICSc is mandatory. Now, BICSc being mandatory can be open to all kinds of interpretation. So,
yeah, I think around the world, not only in this region, you know, people say you have to be BICSc in a tender, in a contract, in whatever they, you know, however they do it. But actually, I don't think they always understand what BICSc is.
Yeah.
And a lot of the, I suppose people preparing the tenders need to actually understand the difference. Yeah. And I think they need to understand you can just be a corporate member, but you don't train any of your staff. But that doesn't mean they're training the staff. I think you need to be clearer in your tenders and put in there exactly what you're looking for. Yeah. If you just want them to have the BICSc ethos and that's what you want, then it's fine to just say BICSc. Yeah. But if you want them to have trained their staff, if you want them, you know, their staff to hold a minimum of an LTP, if you are licensed to practice, that is, for those that don't know us. But if you also want them to hold a license to practice and a number of skills, then you need to state that, and you need to be very clear. And you need to also ask the companies that are applying to prove it.
Absolutely.
We can give you some very basic information in terms of, you can say to us, okay, how many trained operatives have you got registered for a company limited?
Right.
And what we can do is, if we've got everybody that they're within that organisation trained, associated with that company, we can tell you the number. We can't give you any more detail because of data protection, but we can tell you how many they've got trained.
Brilliant, yeah.
But that might miss people out.
Yeah.
Because if they've been trained in a different company, they haven't updated their details on our system, then we won't know for definite. But the company can tell you. The company will know how many people they've got trained. They should have training records.
Of course,
they should have qualification records, and they should be able to say, well, here's a photocopy of 90 cards. These are the 90 people I've got trained. Or I can guarantee these people have. I have 2,000 people. They've all got license to practice, and they've all got a minimum of 3 skills. Yes. They will be able to tell you that.
So as a regulator, essentially, you could ask to see the license to practice for the cleaning operatives that are going to be assigned on a project, or to see proof of that. Brilliant. Okay. And last but not least, are there any kind of updates or anything, any changes coming up with BICSc?
We're currently in the process of doing our three yearly review of the Cleaning Professional Skills Suite. So all the LTP and the skills are being reviewed. There'll be some minor tweaks in there, nothing major, but there are some things in there that are going to have some slight changes. The reason being is the world changes, battery operated over wired. You know, we are trying to make sure we stay as up to date as we can. So we are working on those. We've also got the awards coming up in September, and we're looking forward to seeing who our winners are. Judging process currently underway, so let's see where that goes.
Good luck to everyone.
Good luck from all of us at BICSc as well. And we've also, the success of our virtual training as well has meant earlier this year we launched the app for it, which means anybody who's done any of our online training online on the web, they can now do on the app. So they can sit on the bus and do it, sit on the train and do it. You know, if
you can learn on the go.
You can learn on the go. Or you can just sit on your iPad on your sofa and you can rewatch. So it gives people options. They don't have to do it sat at a desk in front of a computer screen.
Absolutely.
And I know people sit on the sofa with a laptop, but it's always easier to sit with a pad.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I've seen the rolled skills are doing really well. So any plans for any additional rolled skills?
We are looking into rolled skills because they're more commercially viable. They're more realistic in the marketplace. So yes,
for those who don't know what a rolled skill is, could you just explain briefly what that is?
Okay, so let's think about this logically. You've got a cleaning up that's going out to clean bathrooms. As part of that process, they're going to have to mop the floor. They're going to have to clean mirrors. They're going to have to empty bins. They're obviously going to have to clean the toilet pan. And there's probably likely to be a shower in certain areas. So what you can do, rather than train them how to clean toilet pan, you can put all those skills together into one role. So they set the trolley up once. They tootle off, do the job. They can be assessed while they're doing the job effectively. They come back and they empty the trolley like they would in a normal working scenario. So it means you don't have to train each skill separately. 2, it's more time effective. You can train them quicker. You can even assess them on the job if you want to. Or it makes the assessment time quicker as well. So
all round, just a lot more efficient.
It's a lot more efficient. It's a lot more realistic in the marketplace. And for us, really, I think this is where we're pushing, is to ensure that we make things more efficient. Budgets are being cut everywhere. We need to make sure we're supporting our members. And things like the role skills help with that.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
You're
really
welcome.
Appreciate your time, and I hope you've had a great trip in the GCC.
it's been a very warm trip, and it's been very interesting, and it's been great to meet some of the potential future customers, and actually to see how how SaveFast are doing, and they're doing really well. So that's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and thank you to all of you for watching.